Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. I am back here with another video. I'll be talking about my 2018, no, 2019, my bad, All-Star predictions about who are my picks to go to the All-Star game. Obviously, the starters were announced, I believe, 2 or 3 days ago. So I'll be saying my reserves, who I would go with, and who I think they could go with, and some options. And just talk about that and give my thoughts. So first, as we know, the starters in the Western Conference for the guards were Steph Curry and James Harden, and in the front court, it was Paul George, LeBron, and KD. And for this, yes, I do pretty much agree with that. Maybe I'd go with Anthony Davis instead of Paul George, but George has had a great season. He's an MVP candidate, I'd say, so I'm good with that. And then in the East, backcourt is Kemba Walker and Kyrie Irving. And front court is Giannis Antetokounmpo, Kawhi, and Joel Embiid. And I'm pretty good with that. I think those are pretty much what I was thinking before, they were announced. Maybe Kemba for I don't know, Bradley Beal maybe. But even then, I think I'd go with Kemba. Because, Hornets are in the playoffs and Wizards aren't. And yeah, I think those starters are solid. I think LeBron being the captain of the West, I don't agree with that. I'd go with Harden, but LeBron is LeBron, so that's fine. And East, Giannis, he's the MVP candidate out in the East, so I'm good with that. And yeah, now I'll go into the reserves, who I would pick, and all that. So if you don't know, I'll do this. I'll be doing these picks how the head coaches do this. So if you're a Western Conference coach, let's say Greg Popovich, you would pick 2 guards in the West, 3 forwards in the West, and then 2 wild cards who could be forward or guard, just whoever, just whoever you want to see in, pretty much. And I'll do that for the West and for the East. And yeah, let's get it. I will start with the Eastern Conference because I have the information here. And now for the first guard that I will pick will be Bradley Beal. I'm going with Beal because he's had a pretty solid season with John Wall injured. He has to be the best player in that team. Right now, averaging 24 points, 5 assists, 47% field goal percentage. Just a solid year all around. 24 points is big time. And obviously the Wizards aren't good, but they're without their best player in Wall. And I think Beal has picked up the slack nicely, and they have something going right now. They probably won't make the playoffs. Maybe they can make a push. But yeah, my first pick would be Bradley Beal. Nice season. I think this will be his second All-Star selection, and go with that, pretty solid with John Wall out. And on the second guard, I'm going with Victor Oladipo. Very unfortunate. Prayers out to him for his injuries, out for the season. And that broke my heart, as he's having a hell of a season. The Pacers are 3rd in the East. 3rd. They're behind Milwaukee and Toronto. They're having a very nice season, led by this man Oladipo. He's not having the best season or anything like that, but he's their best player on a 3rd seed in the East. And I think 18 points he's been averaging. He's missed a couple games, but I think I give it to him with 3rd in the East. And 18 is not great, but I'll take it. Best player in that team. I feel like maybe you can switch Kyle Lowry out there instead of Oladipo. Pretty much what I'm thinking here is I'm picking Oladipo, and then his injury replacement would be Kyle Lowry. And Lowry, I don't have his stats with me here, but he's had a pretty solid season. He's missed a ton of games too. But Raptors are 1st or 2nd in the East right now. And they do deserve more than just Kawhi as an All-Star. And I'll give them Lowry as he's their 2nd star to come off as an injury replacement for Victor Oladipo. So my 2 guards are Beal and Oladipo. Now I'll go into my forwards. And my first forward is, I think this is a pretty easy pick here, but I'm going with Blake Griffin. He's had a very nice season. I'll pull up his stats right here in a sec. I think he's averaging around 25-ish points. He's really doing everything for that squad. And just a good season, good bounce back after being traded by the Clippers and all that. I think he's had some nice signature moments. I think he's had like 1 or 2 game winners. I think Pistons aren't great, but yeah, he's averaging 26.5 points, with averages 27, 5 assists, 40% field goal shooting percentage. And pretty nice. I think Detroit's not doing that great, but I think the Eastern core out of the East, I think you have to include Blake Griffin in there. I mean, 27 points is big time, and he's had a nice season. I think he's done it all for that squad. He's really the best player, really only All-Star. And yeah, I think it's nice to see Blake get back in there. He's been out for a couple of years, a bit injury prone, but he seems to find guys footing under him. And I think he's free from like Doc Rivers and CP3 and all that drama. I mean, obviously Pistons aren't great, but I think he can put together a nice career over there in Detroit. Maybe win a playoff series or two. And just become a more respectable guy. Because he was really only known as a dunker. But this guy, he can do a lot of stuff. He's got some nice range. He can shoot some threes. I think the 3-point percentage is 36.5, which is respectable. It's not bad. So yeah, as my first forward, I'm putting in Blake Griffin. And for my second forward, I'm going with the Robin to Giannis Antetokounmpo, Mr. Chris Middleton, who's having a solid season. He started off pretty hot, but he's come back down to earth. I think I see what I said with the weak East core of All-Stars. I'll give you this to Middleton. The Bucks having a really nice season. He's putting up 17 points per game, 4 assists, 43% field goal percentage. Which, I mean, that's not great. That's not that great or anything. But I think you have to give the Bucks 2 All-Stars. And with Giannis being the captain and all that, you have to give him. I think I'm giving them Middleton. Because, the Bucks have had a great season. 17 is respectable. I'm giving him that. I think what I said with the weak East. Number 1, number 2 seed in the East. I'm not sure where they're at right now. And yeah, I think you have to give him some consideration. He's had a nice season. Started off hot, has come back down to earth. And I'll give this to Chris. He's had a solid season. This will be his first All-Star selection. Hopefully more to come for him. And yeah, I think if he can keep performing, Bucks can do some real damage in the playoffs, especially with Giannis. I can see them going to the finals if they have home court advantage. But yeah, my second forward is Chris Middleton to go along with Griffin. Now my third forward will be out of the Orlando Magic, Nikola Vucevic, who has really turned himself into an all-star here. He's had a very nice season, averaging 20 points per game, 52 field goal percentage, 38% from 3, 12 rebounds, so he's averaging a double-double, and 4 assists, 1 steal. Pretty solid. He's pretty much been the be-all, end-all for Orlando. And even though, yes, they're having a bad season, I think Vucevic with 20 points, he deserves to be in there. He's had a very solid season. This will be his first All-Star selection, and I am 100% good with that. I don't think he'd make it out west. I mean, in the West, I don't think he or Middleton would make it. But out east, having nice seasons, I'll give it to Nikola. I mean, those are not bad numbers out here. I mean, he's averaging a double-double, 4 assists for big. It's not pretty good. Pretty good. And I think he won't get any MVP votes or anything like that. But I think an all-star selection is solid for him. So yeah, for my guards and forwards, I'm going Bradley Beal, Victor Oladipo / Lowry for the injury replacement, and forwards Middleton, Blake Griffin, and Nikola Vucevic. And I think the coaches will go with that. I feel like that's pretty solid. I feel like maybe Siakam could get in there, especially with a wild card pick. But we'll see. Here are my wild cards for the East. Number 1, I'll go from out of the Philadelphia 76ers, I will go with Mr. Jimmy Butler, who after being traded from Minnesota has had a solid season being that closer for Philadelphia. He's had his signature moments. He's had like 3 game winners with them. And I think Sixers are 4th in the West right now, so that's solid. I think they could climb up to 3rd with the Oladipo injury. And right now he's averaging 19 points per game, 48% field goal shooting, 38% from 3, 5 rebounds, 3.4 assists, and 2 blocks, which for a guard is impressive. But I mean, no, the stats aren't great for him. He's been a bit banged up recently. He'll come back Wednesday, I believe. You know, all that drama with the Minnesota Timberwolves. I think he deserves it, though. I think, in my eyes, he's one of the best players in the NBA. Top 15, at least. And nice two-way player. I mean, 2 blocks is very impressive. Wait, no. That's my bad. That's 2 steals. Which is nice for him either way. And, yeah, I think in the playoffs, 4th, almost 20 points per game, being that closer, having some nice signature moments. I feel like for me, he's almost a lock to get in. Honestly. But yeah, I could see him missing out, especially with that drama in Minnesota. And Pascal Siakam making some noise out in Toronto. But for me, I'll give it to the tried and true Jimmy Butler. Now I'm trying to find my next player. Oh wait, okay. Oh my bad. Okay, yeah. So my next wildcard pick, out of Philadelphia as well, is Ben Simmons. Now, Big Ben, we all know, Rookie of the Year last year. He can't shoot. He can get to the rim. Fabulous passer. And honestly, I'm not sure if Philadelphia deserves 3 All-Stars over guys like Toronto is first and Bucks are second, with only Oladipo and the Pacers and stuff like that, and with the Celtics only getting 1 All-Star pick potentially. I mean, I don't love giving them 3 All-Stars, but Ben deserves it. He's averaging 17 points per game. I mean, this will be his first All-Star selection. I'm feeling pretty solid about it. I could see Siakam, as I said, getting in there, especially with 3 All-Stars in Philly. But I love Ben Simmons. We know he can't shoot, but he can get to the rim. Hey, he's had a nice season. 17 points is respectable. Probably wouldn't make it out west, but I'll give it to him in the East. And those are my picks for the Eastern All-Star reserves. Bradley Beal, Oladipo / Lowry for injury replacement. Chris Middleton, Blake Griffin, Nikola Vucevic, Jimmy Butler, and Ben Simmons. Give me your thoughts on that as I transition to the Western Conference. And in the West, I feel like there's some nice locks here, but I will start with the former MVP, Mr. Russell Westbrook, as my first guard. Obviously, a very nice season from him. 22 points per game, 42% field goal shooting, 24 from 3. Is not great, but he doesn't really need to shoot that 3. But 10 rebounds, 10 assists, 2.4 steals. I know he's having a down year. This is not really his year, but he's averaging a triple-double. And the Thunder are third in the West right now. And I mean, hell yeah. I mean, Paul George is already in there. And I'm putting Russ in there, the former MVP, averaging a triple-double. I mean, his shooting has not really been there. 24% from she is hellacious. But I feel like he's pretty much a lock for me. Just averaging a triple-double and not making the All-Star team would get a lot of uproar. I think averaging a triple-double, 20 plus points per game, that's an easy pick for me, honestly. That's cut and dry right there. As my first guard selection in the West. Now my second pick is Damian Lillard from the Portland Trail Blazers. And for him, I feel like for me he's also a lock to be a second guard besides besides Westbrook. I think we all know the Dame time, he's clutch, all that. But I mean, Blazers, I believe, are fourth in the West right now, so they get home court advantage as of right now. Averaging 26 points per game, 45% field goal, 37% from 3, 5 rebounds, 6 assists, 1 steal. So those are just solid numbers all around. And being the best player as a 4-seeded team out West, which is tough, not gonna lie. Having a very nice season. Getting help from CJ McCollum and those boys in Portland. Obviously, he can ball. I think this is a pretty easy selection from you with those 26 points and fourth in the West. These my second guard that I will pick. And then for my next lock for me is Mr. Anthony Davis. Now, he has been injured for the last week, but he hasn't really missed much time. And we all know AD, top 10 player in the league at least, if not top 5. Right now, averaging 29.3 points per game, 50% field goal shooting, 33% from 3, 13.3 rebounds, 4 assists, 1.7 steals. That's sensational, ladies and gentlemen. I mean, if his Pelicans were in the playoffs, he would probably start. It's unfortunate that the Pelicans have Jrue Holiday around him, and that's it. If anything, really. But you just heard the numbers, ladies and gentlemen. That is big-time stats. And honestly, it sounds like, for me, I felt like it was like kind of a down year with his Pelicans not in the playoffs. But just looking at the numbers, that's sensational. And another really easy pick for me. The West picks, those 3 are locks for me, easily. Westbrook, Dame, and AD. Those are just locks. You know what AD can do. Two-way player, superstar. That's easy. And now for my second front court pick, I'm going with the Joker, Nikola. Yeah, it is Nikola Jokic. Very nice season. Right now, the Denver Nuggets are second in the West, being led by this man who is averaging 20 points per game, 50% field goal shooting, 32% three-point shooting, 10 rebounds, 7 assists, 1.3 steals. And that's pretty great. Pretty close to averaging a triple-double, I might add. But he's averaging a double-double right now, 20 and 10. Honestly, he runs the Denver offense. I love Jamal Murray. But, it's Nikola's team. It's the Joker. The whole offense will run through him. I mean, nearly 8 assists per game. As a forward, damn. That's impressive. He's got a bunch of highlights with his incredible passes. Second in the West. Just an incredible season, averaging a double-double. Another pretty easy pick for me with Nikola Jokic. I mean, Yeah, I feel good about that pick. That's his first All-Star selection. I love his nickname, the Joker. He's had a very nice season. Was second in the West. And yeah, honestly, I love that pick. For me, I feel like he for sure deserves it. He's not one of those locks like I was talking about, like with Westbrook and Dame and AD, but he's pretty damn close to it. But now my next pick for the next forward, Mr. Karl Anthony Towns. And for him, he's averaging 23 points per game, 50% field goal shooting, 38% from 3, 12 rebounds, 3 assists, 1 steal. He has had a very nice season. I mean, he struggled a bit early with the whole Jimmy Butler drama, how he's being attacked, made to look soft. But he's had a pretty solid season, 23 points per game and 12 rebounds, so it's a double-double there. And I mean, 3 assists, it's alright for a big. But pretty much, he's the be-all, end-all for Minnesota. Like, really. Derrick Rose having a sensational season as well. But he is their best player now with Jimmy Butler gone. Wiggins has struggled, as usual, I might add. But really, with this Cats team putting up a double-double, this one was pretty close to me because I was thinking Tobias Harris here. But honestly, even though they're not in the playoffs right now at Minnesota, I'm giving it to them. They've had a very nice season with Mr. Cat. And now, so those are my picks: Westbrook, Dame, AD, Jokic, and Cat. Now for my wild card picks. First one, pretty easy for me. To be honest, I'm going with Klay Thompson out of Golden State. And he's had a relative down year, actually. He slumped for a large portion of the season. He did not look great. But just looking at the numbers, 22 points per game, 46% field goal percentage, 38% from 3, 4 rebounds, 2 assists, 1.2 steals. So obviously it's not great from Klay Thompson. But yeah, Golden State's first in the West. And you know, freaking Golden State. We know he can shoot the lights out, had a bit of a slump. Fabulous defender. I mean, 22 points per game with KD and Steph doing what they do. That's pretty impressive, pretty nice. I think that one's another pretty easy pick for me. Klay Thompson, easily the most liked Golden State Warrior. I think coaches will want him in pretty easily. We see what he can do. I think he had like a 60-point game, just something ridiculous against Chicago. So he's had that signature moment as well. And that's pretty easy for me, I think, for my first wildcard pick. Here it gets a little bit tougher for me. But I'm rolling with DeMar DeRozan for my San Antonio Spurs. Now this one, I might be just a bit of a homer here, as I am a Spurs fan. But, I mean, just watching the Spurs game in, game out, he's had a hell of a season. Like, really, January, he has struggled. He's averaging, like, 16 points per game, around there. He's had, like, 2 or 3 good games, really. But just from looking at the whole season, averaging 22 points per game, 47% field goal percentage, 18% from 3. That is terrible. But he barely takes threes anyway, so I'm not knocking him too hard on that. 6 rebounds, 6 assists, 1 steal per game. That's pretty solid, honestly. Being the best player in San Antonio, we are 6th in the West right now. And I think he's having a very solid season. I mean, 20 points per game is very nice. And honestly, he's had a couple signature moments too. He's had a couple nice dunks. I mean, the 360 layup incredible. He's had a couple game winners, or I call them game winners, but really they're like game enders, like daggers and stuff like that. But he's had a very nice season. I'm honestly I'm giving it to him. I've struggled as of late. Most of the season he's led the team to the playoffs, and it's tough here. I mean, honestly, LaMarcus Aldridge has had a very nice season too. He deserves some All-Star consideration. But I think like last year, DeRozan was a starter in the Eastern Conference, which is mind blowing to me. Because right now, in my predictions, he's barely gonna make the All-Star game. And watching a lot of YouTube videos and stuff like that, some people don't even have them in, which I think is a shame, because he has had a very nice season. But that's who I'm going with. I'm going with Westbrook, Dame, Anthony Davis, the Joker, Nikola Jokic, Karl-Anthony Towns, Klay Thompson, and DeMar DeRozan. Now, for me, maybe the snubs overall would be Tobias Harris, whose numbers are actually pretty similar to DeRozan's, but right now I believe they're out of the playoffs, and I feel really Tobias Harris or DeMar DeRozan. For me, it's not even close. It's DeMar every time. And obviously my LaMarcus Aldridge, but for me, I don't think he deserves it. Really, he's had a really good season, but the first 2 months of the season he was slumping. For a while, he did not look good. People were calling for a trade, and it did not look great for LaMarcus. He has bounced back. You always see the 56.9, which was incredible. Best game of the season. Hell of a game. But if I have to pick between DeRozan and Aldridge, I'm going with DeRozan. Now for the East snubs, for me probably Pascal Siakam. He's had a very nice season. But then again, like Lowry or Siakam, Butler and Ben Simmons, I don't know how you can put him in there just yet. Maybe next season. But not quite just yet, I'd say. And yeah, I guess those are my all-star picks. Give your thoughts in the comment section below. Like, share, subscribe, all of that. And thank you for watching. And peace out.